if they do that, they're going to be very, 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 very tough to beat.
That's why Hunter's in right there. Oh, gotta shoot a three.
Wilson. Oh, and we are tied.
What a game.
Let's go.
Call the five slammer down.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out. Record me acting ignorant, man.
Baylor empties it out with toss. It's going the other way. Second pick of the night. Jeremiah Wilson finishes this one.
The dream is alive for Houston.
Go Cougs! Let's go!
Welcome into another edition of Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian Family. We're coming off the final home game for the third-ranked Houston Cougars men's basketball team, and it's coming off a victory, a 65-59 win over the Kansas Jayhawks, not only for the send-off, the big victory send-off for the seniors, but also the season sweep of Kansas in this one, and we have a lot to get into. But joining me, as always, Dayon Dunlap. Dayon, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, well, man, what a way to send out the seniors, specifically J1 Roberts, who's been with the program for a while, LJ Choir, Malik Wilson, entire senior class, man. A great way to send them off. And what a way to top it off by, like you said, beating Kansas twice this year.
Yeah, obviously from the beginning, the waterworks from head coach Kelvin Sampson when Jawan Roberts came up, gave him a big old hug, and again, you can just see how much not only the Jawan Roberts means to the program, but really means to Kelvin Sampson and all the contributions he has brought to the table. High praise from head coach Kelvin Sampson after the game when he spoke with Scott Van Pelt after the game. He talked about how Jawan Roberts, the heart and soul of this year's Houston Cougars program. But when we're talking about seniors, the big one that stepped up offensively, especially in the first half, it was a little bit of an odd game. Not the prettiest one for Houston, but at the end of the day, they got what matters, and that's the victory. But Milos Uzan gets in foul trouble early, only plays 3 minutes the entire first half. And you can see the difference that Milos makes when he's off the court, when he's not on the court. But for Houston in that first half, specifically LJ Cryer, played a big role in keeping Houston not only afloat, but being able to keep them ahead over Kansas. It was a grinded out game. The one thing that Houston was still able to do a good job, even when Milos was off the court, was being able to defend them. And LJ Cryer was able to carry them offensively in that first half. He had 18 of Houston's 30 points heading into halftime.
He did, and really just stepped up and did what it needed to be done in reference to offensively with Milos not only being on the bench, but kind of settling things in on a half court and picking his spots. And as I was watching the game, I was just thinking, man, LJ really steps up when we need him the most. I know he's often had, well, not often, sometimes had games when he hasn't shot the ball well. But when we really needed him, in this case, Milo's in foul trouble, we need him to handle the ball and do multiple things besides score, but as well as score. Because if I remember correct, there was one point he had 16 of 24, Houston's 24 points in that first half. And so he really got things going and kind of settled us in. And I mean, that's what you need from your senior.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing to add on to your point, Dayon, about LJ Cryer this season, and specifically once the conference play has started, he's just become Mr. Consistent for the Houston Cougars. And really, like you said, whenever it seems like they need a big basket and they're in a rut, more often than not, it's LJ Cryer that steps up and delivers, or at least like in this case against Kansas for much of that first half. He really kept them afloat, and for a stretch there, he was kind of their only consistent form of offense.
Yep.
When Houston was really struggling, and it he wasn't just scoring; it was an efficient scoring for LJ. I think he was 7 for 13 at halftime. So that's obviously a step in the right direction for Houston, but for LJ Cryer in particular, that just showcases the growth that he has had over the course of his 2 seasons with the Cougars.
It is, and it keep putting on display his development in his all-around game. He's now, in my opinion, it's proven he's more than a standstill 3-point shooter or a catch and shoot players. He can handle the ball. He's getting to his mid range. He's trusting his mid range, and he's really having a well rounded game. But his efficiency was important. Well, what stood out? It was important, but it also was impressive. Is the word I'm looking for.
Mhm.
And so it was good to see him, man. And Malik stepped up as well. Unless you see Cross the ticker
Yeah.
with his numbers, but those two really held the fort down in that first half.
Yeah, Malik Wilson, 10 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, a little bit of everything while Milos Uzan was out in that first half. And I think this game is something that really got hammered over the course of that TV broadcast. I guess the word of the game that kept being reiterated was toughness. And this was the type of game where, again, Houston has to battle through a lot of adversity over the course of the game with the foul trouble for Milos Uzan. Not really outside of LJ Cryer. There wasn't really any other player that was had it going offensively, and when it came to a consistent basis. And really, what helped the Cougars be able to come away with this victory was just doing what they do best. They were crashing the boards. They were giving so many different shot opportunities. And when you look at the final box score, yes, Houston only shot 35% from the field compared to Kansas's 45%, but 42 total field goals taken by Kansas compared to Houston's 68. And that's the big difference in the game when you factor in the 26 more shots that the Cougars had over Kansas in this game. 26 more shots. And that's just an incredible stat to look right there from the jump. But really, top to bottom, that's the main reason Houston won. And I guess the biggest microcosm of that stat was that last possession for Houston when it was Kansas had a chance to. It was a 2-possession game late, and they were trying to get a stop, and they simply just could not get a defensive rebound to get an opportunity. And that's kind of how Houston was able to seal the victory. It was on by crashing the glass, by getting 3 different offensive rebounds on that same possession, and probably making Bill Self wanting to tear his hair out just in terms of how many chances Kansas had, and Houston just didn't let them convert, and they kept getting offensive boards.
Man, shout out to Emmanuel because he had some good key offensive rebounds as well. LJ had one. Just the entire team was really pounding the offensive glass,
Mhm.
and that's something that's on the scouting report. Everyone has the rebound, but collectively, we all did a great job of rebounding, and it really just goes into the toughness of Houston. I mean, the sideline reporter and during the broadcast said that Coach Sampson just wrote culture on the board and said and really just says a few words to inspire the team. And so, I mean, that offensive rebound was good, but just watching that game, it was always to Houston's pace, how Houston wants to play. Like you said, controlling the pace, stopping, getting defensive rebounds, limiting to one shot, and getting offensive rebounds to get multiple attempts. And so, watching this game, although Kansas fought, I want to give them credit for fighting and making it an interesting game. But Houston, man, this team is very impressive, and that was an impressive win.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point about Kansas. The fight that they showed in this matchup, you could tell this definitely a game that they really wanted to win. And
Mhm.
a couple plays here, and it could be a completely different ball game. It's going to be very interesting to see. Maybe this is something that they can bottle up for some momentum. Yes, they lost, but uh, they played Houston really tough, and that could be something that if they make a little run in the Big 12 tournament, they carry into the NCAA tournament. And shoot, obviously in conference play hasn't gone great for Kansas, but I don't think any one of those top seeds wants to see the Kansas Jayhawks on their bracket come March.
I mean, they have a really good coach, but during the broadcast, like you said, it's a team that's it seems to lack toughness. I mean, I haven't watched enough of their games to definitively say they aren't tough, but from what I've seen, that they aren't the Kansas that we're used to seeing with with even having NBA talent, and so they don't seem like a group that's together. But I gotta hold Bill Self accountable, in my opinion, because he's used to having an NBA and high level talent, which I want to say is not easier to coach. But when you have that high level talent, maybe you don't have to coach as much. Where you look compared to Coach Sampson, I mean, years past, he hasn't had NBA players, or he has low star players, but he still, since his tenure at Houston, has been able to produce at a high rate, and he's transferred that into the Big 12. And so I'm so ecstatic in what he's been able to do for Kansas. I mean, it sucks to be them.
Yeah, couldn't have said better. Couldn't have said that better myself. Real quickly, Fluff, McKiver is about to join us in a second, but I'd like to thank each and every single person that's taking the time out of their Monday night to join us on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs. We'll get to a lot of your comments in a bit, but of course, we also like to say thank you to today's sponsors of Let's Rage Coogs, beginning with Steve Saxenian. He is the primary sponsor of not only this edition of Let's Rage Coogs, but each and every single post-game show throughout the regular season. So thank you for tuning into Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian Family. Of course, also a big thank you to Star Pizza for being a secondary sponsor in today's edition of LRC. With 3 locations throughout the Houston area, Star Pizza is your go-to stop before or after the game for some really good, delicious pizza. Be sure to check them out online at starpizza.net or visit them on social media at Star Pizza HOU on X. Bringing in Mr. Fluff McKiver, who knows a lot about toughness himself. Fluff, how you doing, sir, on this Monday night?
I'm doing good, man. I just want to say, man, I wish I could have got out there tonight. Had some family issues that I had to tend to while I wasn't at the game tonight. But I'll definitely be at the game coming up. I don't want to make any promises because things happen. So go Cougs though, man. Great win tonight. Great moment with Juan and Coach Sampson. That was super authentic and super real, man. To see, that's why we have the best coach in the country, man. You could just see the emotions on his whole face and everything he was doing. That's how he really felt about that kid, and that's somebody you want to drop your kid off to, when you're taking him to a university to play basketball, man. If you're privileged to have that opportunity.
No, facts. Well said. Well said. And I think with that, I wonder, is this the longest Coach Sampson has had a player play for him? 6 years. Because, it's not rare where players get 6 years. You add the COVID year, that's normally 4, maybe 5 with a grad year.
Man, you could just tell in his face that he don't want him to leave. You know what I mean? Like, he was, it has to be. I mean, if it's 6 years, it's definitely the longest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But he said he considered him his own. He mentioned Kellen Lauren, his grandkids, and he said he got J1. So it really means a lot to him. And to get that win on the home court, they really need to go ahead and name the court Kelvin Sampson Court. I mean, it's time. The time is now. Name it Kelvin Sampson Court inside the Fertitta Center. We'll build the statue after he win the Natty, but go ahead and change that name.
Yeah, it makes sense. I tell you what, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Well, Fluff, one of the things that we're
go ahead, Andy.
No, what I was gonna say is one of the things that we were talking about before you hopped on the call, Fluff, was about kind of the word of this game, and we heard a lot on the broadcast was toughness, and obviously even going back to the Texas Tech game a week ago now, when that kind of seemed to be the word surrounding that matchup about the toughest team wins. And Dan brought up a great point about the story that was brought up during the broadcast during one of the timeouts. The only thing Kelvin Sampson wrote on his whiteboard was toughness, culture. And he really was looking at Terrence Arsenal because shooting-wise, Terrence had a game where he struggled offensively, 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 3 on threes. But really what was said on the broadcast, the message that Kelvin Sampson had for Terrence was he doesn't care about any of that. He wants them to continue to be hustling when it comes to defense, going on there and rebound. And again, going and looking at that final possession where Kansas was still within the game, one stop, get the ball back. They have a chance to cut the deficit even closer or potentially even tie the game. And Houston got 3 offensive rebounds on that same possession to ice the win. That really is a microcosm and the epitome of the toughness on full display in this game where, I mean, that Houston had to grind it out to come out with the victory.
Well, if you really watched the game, it definitely was a grinded out situation as far as, Kansas is coming into our building, not having a great season. I mean, having a great season, but not to their standard. And they're trying to get any type of momentum to go into the next. I mean, and to go to the Big 12 tournament and also the NCAA tournament. So, we knew they was going to try to punch us in the mouth, but we was ready, man. You know what I mean? Ooze had some great moments tonight. Roberts, Cryer, Sharp, big offensive rebound, end of the game. Those little plays are what make championship teams. Is making those little fundamental plays at end of games or at key moments of games. That is almost always the difference of a team winning a big game or not.
No, facts. I just think those plays like Fluff just mentioned, as well as the plays that Malik made, as well as his timely cuts, timely rebounds, just timely buckets. This team really just plays so well together and just does what it takes to win. Like you just mentioned when Coach Simpson was on Terrence, and that's kind of the mantra of the team and the culture. Whereas you 0 for 7 or 0 for 5, 0 for whatever. I mean, one thing you can't coach like Coach Sampson often says is effort and willingness to compete. And so when he gets his guys to do that and buy in, and then always have you keep yourself in the game with defense and rebounding. Offensively, man, LJ had to go on Malik, but Malik was very impressive. I think but the inconsistency of Emmanuel Malik has been playing well, especially as Terrence as well. I think Malik has been really played himself into an X factor on this team. We need his. We don't really. No, I wouldn't say we need his production, but we just need him because he can bring different elements, like impact winning on any given game, and he can add the scoring with that.
And let's call a spade a spade. He's has the ability to make that one highlight where you're like, whoa.
Oh,
He has that. He has that factor where it might only be 6 points, but he has the ability to make that, like the dunk he caught tonight. It was like whoa, like it gets the crowd going, it gets our team going, it gets the morale of what we're trying to do going. And
even that reverse layup, like it,
yeah,
like you said, like yeah,
yeah, you know what I mean. He got
yeah,
jazz with him. He got R and
yeah,
B. He got R&B with him a little bit.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
Yeah. He got some high five in him. Y'all don't know that they're from Waco, Texas. He has some high five in him.
Shout out from Boom Boom, who's joining us all the way from Oregon, who said, ugly but good win tonight. Lots of pregame distractions or routine breakers. He's glad the guys were able to stay on it and obviously come away with the victory. Crabtree says that in the 29 years of the Big 12, Kansas has only been swept twice in the regular season by Oklahoma State and Texas until tonight. So now that list jumps out to 3, obviously, with Houston. So again, just to reiterate how impressive of a season this Houston Cougars team is doing and what they have now honestly solidified their spot on the 1 line and the 1 seed at this point, just 13 days away from Selection Sunday. And again, look at the different teams that they've beaten just this season: Baylor, Texas Tech, Arizona, K-State, TCU, Iowa State, Kansas twice. Just impressive role that they've been on. 18-1 in conference play. They've literally have only lost one game since November until now. A very, very impressive showing by these Houston Cougars. And it's hard to believe that at the end of November, there was a lot of people that were maybe not full blown panicking, but there were certainly a lot of questions like, I don't know about this Houston team
I
when
say
they sat
panicking,
4-3 and now.
Andy, I say panicking. You might not be saying panicking, but you know, no, they were panicking a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
especially
think
after
so.
loss to San Diego State. I'm with you, Fluff. Some people
Yeah.
were panicking
I
and was
wasn't
like, what's
panicking, but
going on?
I'll say this, Andy.
That was a lot of
I was
criticism.
concerned. I
Hmm.
was definitely concerned. But hey, man, I'm not now.
Fluff, I want to get your thoughts on this question from Mr. Big Texco. He says that UH is still having trouble with the press and traps. They got to fix that. Uh, what did you see from Houston in terms of the pressure that Kansas applied in different stretches over the course of the game?
Well, our press breaker is really to release the basketball and ooze to get it right back. Where
Hmm.
I would love for them to maybe have, someone in the middle and then two guys on the side to where we have options and give you different people that you have to guard um as you're pressing us with the spacing of O's being in the middle of the floor. So that's a great point. I seen that today. And when they pressed us a couple of times. I don't think it's anything to really worry about, but I'm sure Coach Sampson and the guys are, definitely caught that. And, I think if we could just, bring Cryer up a little more, bring Sharp up a little more, Terrence in the game, Malik in the game, whoever's in the game, that to have our guards relieve pressure than just kind of getting it in and giving it and having a play of getting it back to Ooze, and then everybody kind of spacing out. It's good, but sometimes we need to have our guys come back and help them with the basketball so there aren't any erratic plays that, have the potential of happening.
This is actually a carryover from last game. So Cincinnati was able to press down the stretch and create some turnovers and kind of get back into the game. And me and Kris, after last post game and the last show, was really talking about that. And we was expecting Kansas and either one going forward to kind of do that, and he kind of reared himself again tonight. So not really concerned because I trust Coach Sam and staff to be able to rectify it. But this is back-to-back games where Houston has had some trouble breaking down a press, breaking down the press and beating the press.
Shout out Balin Gardner, who's an IU fan from Indiana, said he enjoyed watching and Kelvin Sampson coach the Hoosiers in a short stint. I, this might be Balin might be an exception. This is the rare moment I've seen an Indiana fan uh, feel this way about Kelvin Sampson. But
Man, Calvin
appreciate you
Sampson
tuning
is the
in.
man, man.
I appreciate Braylon joining us, and yet couldn't yet Fluff. There's no argument here. Can't say it any better than that. He's the dude in Houston. Great point by Crabtree. Again, the offensive rebound from Houston in this game. 17 offensive rebounds for Houston compared to Kansas, who only had 5 offensive rebounds. Again, complete domination aspect in that category for Houston. And one of the other things, it's kind of interesting when you see this game because Houston struggled offensively, especially outside of Eldrick Cryer. But the defense did not for Houston. They forced Kansas into multiple turnovers, and there was stretches there where Kansas couldn't stop turning the ball over, and to finish a game with 20 forced turnovers on Kansas. Now the Jayhawks were, for the most part, able to limit Houston's ability to really make them play off those turnovers, but the defense was phenomenal for Houston, and that's one of the kind of calling cards that these Houston teams have been known for over the course of the last few years. And it's good to see again that Houston can win in many different ways, even when shots are not
Yes.
falling, when Milo's use ends in foul trouble, because something that Kelvin Sampson mentioned post-game press conference, like during the NCAA tournament, they're going to have to be able to win these type of games that are grinded out, ugly affairs and come out on top.
And that's really how the type of game that Houston really wants to play, if we're being honest. I mean, they can get in the track meet and run up and down and score, but at their pace, playing how they want to muck it up and force you to execute in a half court, limit your transition, and just play hard, no tough defense and just slow the game down.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about the press and all that, and a couple of turnovers maybe Ooze had or whatever. But man, I'm just, the grinded out part of how we play. But I think if, on the sidebar, I think if Ooze is aggressive the way he's been lately, I think that it's hard for us to beat with the combination of having that type of game.
This is a good question to pose for you guys, and I'll do it right now. And joining us from the Fertitta Center, Mr. Kris Gardner of the Houston Round Ball Review. Kris, how you doing, sir?
I'm hot. It's hot inside Fertitta Center. Had issues with the air throughout the game, air, power, generators, whatever. So, but all the people with the sold out crowd, it got real hot in here, man. So, but I'm here. It's cooling off a little bit because all the body heat has left. But last game of the season for the Cougs. So if the Fertitta Center was going to have problems, make it the last game of the season. So get it fixed going forward. But yeah, it's hot. And I was a little late in because I wanted to get a clip from Coach Bill Self. I didn't want to have time to go through all of his comments because he did describe Fluff's guy, Mr. LJ Cryer, as a bad man. Bill Self said that. So, but let's see if I can pull it up. This comment the question is from Chancellor Johnson, so that'll be the voice you hear. And then Coach Self. I hope it sounds good because even the Wi-Fi is kind of strange in here too tonight. Everything was kind of off tonight, fellas. So let me see. Here we go. Bill Self. Here we go.
Into the conference and have the success that they've had. Just how impressive is it knowing just how difficult this conference is?
Yeah, they made it look easy. It's not as easy as they're making it look. I'm sure Kelvin would tell you the same thing. They've been fortunate in a couple of games. They were fortunate at our place. They were fortunate at UCF. But even with that being said, they still would have won the league. I mean, they made it look really easy. They're so well coached and drilled and so athletic, and they seem to all like each other and really play well together. So and Milos has gotten a lot better, I think, since the start of the season. He may be the biggest reason why I think they're playing better right now, just because of him. But yeah, what Kelvin has done in his 9 years here, is it 9 or 10? 11. What he's done in his time here is the best job that anybody's done, in my opinion, in America in that period of time. So I've competed against him, many years when he was at Oklahoma, but he's done he and his staff have done a fabulous job.
There you go. That's respect. That is respect right there, folks.
Can I say this?
Yes.
Say this, Kris? One thing. That's big respect. Only thing that was like a little tricky, my brothers tell me if you agree with, was the first comment of we were fortunate at Kansas. We were fortunate at UCF. I get it, but man, we ran through the league, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But definitely big respect. I love what he said at the end. In 11 years, it's probably the best job that anyone has done in America, and I think that was great from a legendary coach to say about another legendary coach.
Agreed. And Crabtree, I think so. And I don't want to get the school in trouble that I love dearly. But DeJuan Harris slipped. That could be why he slipped on that play on the inbounds, because of humidity on the court. Because it got warmer toward the end of the game. And so there possibly was condensation on the floor. I mean, who knows? But I know there were issues with The water had a broken water line yesterday, or the last few days. That finally got repaired. That impacted the water and everything for the game, the women's game yesterday. And the area has had power issues off and on for like a week or so. And so tonight was just, it impacted the game, impacted the AC. I think I was told that the video board didn't work at times. We had the lights go on and off a couple of times, like during timeouts. So I'm not sure what can fix it like immediately during the games, but obviously they do what they could to keep the game going. But they have all this time now to get it fixed going forward.
Yes, sir.
Dan, brother, how you doing, man? I know I missed some great insight.
Oh man, I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great. I think right before you jumped on, Andy was about to pose this question, and before he joins us back, we might as well hop right into it.
Who was
What you
team
guys think?
MVP?
I know
Team
during the
MVP.
broadcast, they were saying that they asked that question to Coach Samp. They said he really, really thought about it, and then he said LJ. So, what's your guys' take?
Overall, I would say yes. And tonight's game was different for the team because the guards got in foul trouble.
Yeah.
You know, LJ, of course, got in 4 fouls with like 11 minutes left in the second half. So that was a blow because he was rolling. Milos picked up 2 fouls early, kind of shades of, what was it, the Alabama or Auburn game when he got in foul trouble. And then Malik got in 3 fouls. So Malik did a hell of a job. He came through with some big steals, came through with that nice left-hand layup, that veteran experience, and the steal and dunk from Dickinson. Tonight's game, I think I saw a comment that when I joined, was the old Cougar way of winning. Not shooting the ball well, not shooting at a high percentage, but rebounding those misses, keeping possession alive, and then scoring. So it was just it was old Cougar way of winning the ball game. 18-1 the Big 12, man, and not playing your A game. All of us take it. So, we can complain about this. Juwan missed some shots that he would, normally Terrence Arsenault didn't make a shot. Guys missed shots tonight.
Taking threes now?
Corner threes. He took some earlier in the season. He took some.
Okay.
But that corner three was like the first time he's taken a 3-pointer in a while,
I mean, he took it with confidence.
Yeah.
I just was wondering,
it had been.
His spin was kind of off on it, on the shot, but it's okay. But yeah, they trust him enough, I think, going forward to be a corner 3-point shooter, a 3-point threat if it's there. But they found a way to win. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't their B game, hell, not alone their A game. But they won it. They're now, 26-4, Andy? Right? 26-4?
Yep, 26-4, 18-1 in conference.
18-1.
With 1 game left.
I'm going to assume you guys talked about it because me and Dan touched on it Saturday. 2 weeks ago? I did not believe they would finish 19-1. They're one win away from finishing 19-1. And that I think they have it locked up now to be the 3rd number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Not the 4th number 1 seed. So if that's the case, if they are the 3rd number 1 seed, they'll be in the Indianapolis region, not the San Francisco region.
And just think, they got the opportunity to sweep Kansas and sweep Baylor, who's been one of the 2 perennial powerhouses in the Big 12. And we both won national championship was recent. And so second year to be able to opportunity to sweep both of those programs, solidify themselves as a number 1 seed, potentially go on and or have the opportunity to reach their ultimate goals and win a natty, man. What a year.
And let's answer this because, and I want to say I did not record Hunter Dickinson's comments and David Coit. Shout out to young fella David Coit. He was a 3-point threat for KU. Come off the bench. He had some tough threes for them. But
are these types of games sustainable in order for us to win a program, Mark? What if the other team doesn't fall into the ugly match? Well,
no team tries to fall. Go ahead.
You got to be able to win games like this.
Yeah, go ahead. All of us comment on it. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this to Ron, is that if you really watch the games that we play, we don't lose perimeter matchups. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is we're never really getting killed on the perimeter too crazy. We had a couple games, Texas Tech, a couple other games where the guards got off a little bit, but as far as in the percentages of the games that we played, we usually shut the perimeter down, and we're definitely going to control the glass. So we kind of make you play ugly if we're not rolling anyway, just from what our identity is on a daily base, even if we were shooting the ball good. So I hope, like, answering your question is, even if we're shooting the ball good, we're still going to eat the glass. We're still going to attack the offensive glass violently. We're gonna shut down the perimeter guards. You know what I'm saying? We're putting tremendous pressure on the point guard or whoever has the ball on the perimeter. So whether our power is, whether we're playing good or bad, we're bringing that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Every time.
And this is the thing Hunter and Dickinson said, and I think you guys will agree with it. For teams that have not faced the Cougs before, you cannot replicate their physicality in your practices. So going against the Cougs for the first time in a tournament game, that's definitely going to be the first 2 rounds. Might be the round of 16. So it's going to be difficult for those teams who have never faced this kind of play from the Cougs, and how to handle the physicality, how to handle the rebounding, and then how to handle those games when the Cougs will make their shots. Most of the shots the Cougs missed tonight rolled out. They didn't take a lot of bad shots. They just didn't fall, but they still won. And we see how Milos has played so well. When he picked up those 2 early fouls early in the game, it took the team the whole first half to adjust with him not being in the game. So that disrupted the offensive flow too. My take.
Oh, it definitely did. Big time. The only thing I'd add is that I think, to be honest, it's kind of a requirement that you got to be able to win these types of games in March. And then this is one of the things that, again, this Houston Cougars as a program, it's become kind of their calling card, their identity, to be able to get in games like this, even when shots aren't falling, pretty much like it happened tonight. I mean, just think back to the year they made it to the Final Four, that Rutgers game. Yeah, that was one of those ugly games against Oregon State to get into the Final Four. It was one of those ugly games. And then the year after that, the Elite Eight matchup, obviously Houston didn't come away with the victory, but that was a very, very ugly offensive performance, and Houston still had a chance to come away with the victory in the closing seconds. And even just last year, Houston, Duke, no Jamal Shed, and they were struggling offensively, but Duke never blew open that game, and that's because it's become an identity of this Houston Cougar program to, even when their shots aren't falling, whatever's happening on whatever the circumstance might be in the game, like that's what's going to keep them in games more often than not. And for the most part, they're always going to be able to be in games because of that defensive intensity and culture and toughness and all the things.
And the Cougs had 16 steals tonight. KU had 20 turnovers. Mm-hmm. So the Cougs did not score a lot off of those turnovers.
Yep.
That was a factor as well. But part of that was because we saw shots roll in and out. I mean, what is this team's? Okay, here's a question. Oh, yes, they have weakness. This team is not perfect. Oh, no. Fluff, what do you think? What is this team's weakness?
Our weakness is sometimes, we rely. Sometimes we don't play that good off of the ball screen. I think we could be a little more aggressive off the ball screen. A lot of times the ball screen is kind of like a decoy, meaning like when Ooze comes off the ball screen or Cryer comes off the ball screen, it's kind of really to throw it to a pop or, throw it to the pop and then, high low, or, throw it to the top and then we reverse it. You know what I mean? I think we could get a little more downhill, more off the ball screen with our guards. I think that's a little bit of a weakness. And sometimes if Roberts is off in the post, you know what I mean, he's not really getting nothing going in the post, I don't really see, someone else that we could throw it to really, you know what I mean, get it done. I think if Roberts is not getting it done on the post, you know what I'm saying, is, we can struggle a little bit. I don't really like giving this insight out because we don't know who's watching. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Dan, what you think, man?
No, I agree with everything Flo said, 100%. I think, just like he said it perfectly, at times to be able to get inside the paint with the guards, break down the defense, and having a second low post threat, which I think JVR can do that. I think he's a better low post threat than JoJo, but we really don't go to him consistently for him to be able to display that. But
I
so
see
I
his
agree
little
with
jump
everything
up
Flo said.
sometime here and there.
Yeah.
Andy, what do you think? What is a weakness?
I would say that front court depth, most definitely. They've had certain games over the course of the season, but if Juwan Roberts, Javier Francis, and JoJo Tugler get in foul trouble, or at least 2 out of those 3 get in foul trouble, then it's intriguing to see how Houston has to shift, whether at times they've done 4-guard lineup with Turns kind of playing the hybrid 4, or sometimes they even had to put in Cedric Lott in the game. I think that's one of the weaknesses. That teams could potentially hurt Houston come tournament time.
I think bigger teams with bigger front courts at the 3, 4, and the 5 could be a matchup problem for the Cougs, especially at that wing spot when they switch and end up having Sharp or Milos or LJ down on the big who's down in the paint for an entry pass. That could be a weakness, but it's not a lot of teams that have guys that are skilled in 6'9", 6'10", 6'11" up front. It's very few teams that have that kind of lineup in college. So that's one. But yeah, this team is not perfect. So they have weaknesses, and it's the staff's job to hide those weaknesses as much as possible, or make sure the opponents, don't get a chance to exploit those weaknesses for a long part of a game. Okay, this question for Kris B. Fun question.
We're getting some good questions tonight.
If UH loses in which round, the season would be considered a failure? Well, the first 2 rounds for sure. I mean, no question. First 2.
I think the Sweet 16 is the cutoff. I think if they get eliminated again in the Sweet 16 or before for 3rd year in a row, I think they got to get to at least the Elite 8, in my opinion.
And of course, it depends on health, matchups, all that. But they're 1 seed. They should be favored to get to the Elite 8. You'd play the 16 seed, winner of the 8-9 in the second round, and then 4, 5, 12, 13 after that. So I'm kind of like Andy. If they don't get to Elite 8, I'd say it'd be a failure. But it's just another example of how far this program has come. We're talking about you don't get to the Elite 8 is a failure. Man.
I mean, my expectations are high. I'm tired of, I ain't gonna say I'm tired of it, because I just don't like celebrating Elite 8s and Sweet 16s and Final Four. It's like celebrating second place or third, or to me, that's not. So I don't celebrate that. And I remember how long Houston had that Final Four banner up, because it's a major accomplishment, especially coming from where they come from. But that's in the same boat as Gonzaga's and all these other programs who hasn't won a national championship. So for me personally, and this is just me, Dayon, nobody else. And it's natty or bust for me. It's just me though.
No, but are you saying it would be a failure if they don't get to the Final Four win champ? Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm saying that for me.
Okay, that's fair.
Just for me personally, only for me personally. For everyone else, the program, it'd be great season, good season. Whoop-de-doo, we got there again. We're still relevant, all that stuff. But for me, I don't want to celebrate. Yes, we got to Elite 8 again. Good job. For me, that's me though. That's only me. That's only me. I'm only preface that by saying it's me.
No, that's fine, because I think one of our pot stirs, not too complicated. How long will Coach get a pass for just having a great year?
Now that's where it gets tricky, D.
he
can never get a pass. because he doesn't need one.
Yeah. Right.
Now see, this is where it gets tricky, D, because you're saying it in a different lens, coming from like a different vibe of saying it.
Right.
But he doesn't need a pass.
Nah, it ain't a pass.
We would love for him to help us win a championship, but he
Get that
definitely
championship,
doesn't need or get a pass.
Right. No, I agree with that. I don't think it's a pass.
You see what I'm saying?
It's just me speaking from my fandom and having a ultimate great expectation for us. I think
got
we're
you.
a national championship caliber. I don't think that's just me setting the bar high. And if we don't reach that, then I think, okay, ultimately we didn't get to where we wanted to. And I'm not gonna. That's what I'm saying. I'm prefacing by saying that's me.
No, that's fair. There's nothing wrong with that.
Especially with everything they've accomplished so far this season, like.
I guess my only comeback to that is because of the tournament being one and done. A team hit a lucky shot, beat them in the Elite Eight. I wouldn't call that a failure. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they get blasted, and
kind of like how when they ran into
any
Miami 2
round,
years ago.
something that was a failure. That loss to Miami, that was just That team looked like it fell apart. That team was not a team anymore. And so that was disappointing. That was a failure. But the bar is set high. And I have no problem with that bar being set high. And Dan is a positive brother. So he's putting out there in the universe. And hey, if Dayon can speak it into existence, I'm here for it. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
But yeah, coach getting a pass. That's that. The
word
of that question is
I understand what D's saying, but like he could never need or get a pass. You don't need to get a pass.
Never.
Yeah. No.
Okay, can I answer this? Well, no.
You could take
this,
but no.
I don't know if he's packed his office, but he'll be done this week. I can say that. Trust me on that. Not too complicated. He's done. And this is I noticed this, I think, during halftime tonight. Coach Huey's first year as head coach at Houston, 2014-15 season, he went 1-17 in conference play. His last year at Houston, which will be this one, he went 1-17 in conference play. Where does this senior class rank in the post-COVID era seniors for the Cougs? What are we talking about here? For other teams?
Yeah, for Houston.
I mean, well, in terms of wins, I'm kind of like Dayon now on this one. In terms of wins, they've done a lot, except they have unfinished business. And as Juan Roberts said to the fans after the game, we'll see y'all in San Antonio.
That's what I like to hear.
Fluff, you know what that means?
What I'd like to hear.
We'll see y'all in San Antonio.
Listen, I'll say this. If we get to San Antonio, we'll win. I don't. My anxiety would be so crazy if we get like to the game, the championship game. I'm just, we're talking about speaking in existence. Mm-hmm. I'm saying if we get to San Antonio, we're winning it. If my feelings are gonna be hurt, I'd rather my feelings be hurt in the Sweet 16 or the big game. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel with Juan Roberts, like, yo, we're going there and then we have to win 2 games. That's what his mindset is.
Yeah, the last loss or any loss that I hope for the Cougs, not that I want them to, but is in the Big 12 tournament. After that, get 6 wins. That's the goal, to get 6 wins, because that means a national championship. And all 4 of us.
Do you almost want to lose a little bit, Kris, in the Big 12 tournament? I know it sounds weird, but like, would you rather like a little letdown now?
Not a letdown. I think
not letdown,
but based on who they play, because Iowa State, if they face them, they'll have like 12,000 fans in the building for them. I mean, they're still Iowa State and Texas Tech are two really, really good teams. The Cougs are elite, and then Iowa State and Texas Tech, healthy, both of them healthy, are like just a little bit below them. Hell, all three of those teams can make the Final Four, based on where they go in terms of bracketing. That's how good I think Iowa State is. Texas Tech, if they're healthy, and JT Toppin can get it going. But so if they lose to one of those two teams to Kansas City, I'm good with that. Because that'll be it. Last time
I agree with that.
I'm going to lose.
I think that double bye is going to do them well. Let them really kind of rest up a little bit and get prepared and go ahead and go on a run and win that Big 12 tournament.
Let's see. Coach Sampson's last 4 years, 26 wins this season. Damn, listen to this. 32 wins last year, 33 the year before, and then 32. So that's, what is that, 97, 123 wins the last 4 years.
Damn.
So that's an average of 31, almost 31 wins a season. Whew, man. This is a great time to be a Coug, man, to follow the Cougs. Sure. I'm kind of curious how y'all answer this question from Complicated, the pot stirrer. Does Coach have a weakness?
No. I ain't doing that one. I won't be able to come home. I know I missed the game tonight. I had some things going on, but I ain't finna. If y'all want to answer that one, y'all do that one. I ain't doing that one. No, hey, not too much complicated. No, Coach Sampson doesn't have weakness. Okay. These my brothers. I'm trying to give them a hint not to answer that, but I want to speak for them. I don't think Coach Sampson has a lot of weaknesses.
Well, now you're saying a lot of weaknesses. He said a weakness.
A weakness. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Perfect. Because I can just visualize someone watching the show and pulling out my comment and sending it to Coach Sampson. Did you see what Kris said about you, Coach? And they get a phone call. They get a phone call.
Hey, Kris, what's that you said on your podcast today?
I could see that happening. I get a phone call from Coach. Oh, really? So
Coach Sampson the type too that I don't want to say a slug, but a type to in his press conference way to be able to, to be able to clap back at something like that.
He'd clap back in the press conference. Yeah, he would. He would.
Yeah. He would go.
He'd be like, Kris, don't be back here in the locker room eating no more chicken tenders either, man.
You know what? I'm going to hold off on answering that question because I want to try to do it. No, I'm going to try to do it this way and ask him if he believes he has weakness and what it is, because he'll answer it. Because he'll toss it back at me and say, "What do you think it is, Kris?" Oh, Coach, I'm not answering the question. I want you to answer the question. So
I obviously do think he got one.
Yeah, because he's not perfect. He'll say that. He said he's not perfect. He's not a perfect coach. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about. No, I'm saying not too complicated.
Yeah.
Obviously, you think he got one. So what is it?
Right. Listen, I will say that in that Miami game, I think he got too stubborn and didn't go to Tremont Mark, because Tremont was coming off a tremendous game. First in the first half against Miami, he made his first 3 or 4 shots. And normally, to Coach Sampson's credit, he lets the game dictate itself. And I think in that moment, he got, for whatever is behind the scenes, I heard multiple things or whatever, so I can't speak on something that I don't know for a fact. But watching that game, it wasn't Coach Sampson like to be like, you know what? Tremont is still feeling it from last game and letting him continue to ride him. I think maybe his stubbornness could be a weakness.
You know,
I'll go with that one.
Yeah, and I'll say stubbornness, but at times, and in games, is that a weakness? Because all of us are stubborn at something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So saying he has not won a natty, that's not a weakness. Yeah.
Right.
Nah.
That's not a weakness. It's a statement of fact, but that's not a weakness.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of Hall of Fame coaches that have not won a national championship. Does not mean they're not great coaches. Doesn't make them bad coaches, especially in college basketball, because it's one and done. Now, if this was a best of 7, I'd probably take the Cougs over everybody.
Facts.
To win 4 out of 7. And that includes Auburn. And that includes Duke. But it's just one and done. So that's the beauty and the curse. I said it a lot. I beat that horse down. That's the beauty and the curse of the tournament, March Madness. That's what makes it so great. But that's also makes it so devastating if your team does not win and some team just has a dude go off for 45 who never scored more than 20 before in his life, and that's how you lose. Yeah. But, I mean, that's part of the fun of these post-game shows too, is everybody has a chance to share their comments and questions and their opinions. And that's the beauty of Let's Rage Coogs. I had three more people come up to me tonight. Andy and Dan, you'll love this. Two of these dudes did not say Let's Rage Coogs. They said to me, Paul Slamma Jamma. but another person said, Let's Rage Coogs. Looking forward to the show. I'm going to watch tonight. So salute to everybody for supporting us, supporting this show. Spread the word. Keep spreading the word about Let's Rage Coogs, because we are the original post-game show for Houston basketball and Houston football. And 18-1 in the Big 12. Most wins, conference wins in Big 12 history. I mean, hell, it's the first year, 20-game schedule. Kansas went 17-1. So that was a previous most conference wins with 17, which Cougs tied Saturday. So they not sit along with the most at 18. Have a chance to get 19 this Saturday. Late start, 9:00 start in Waco. So that's going to be a late Let's Rage Coogs Fluff. So drink your coffee, brother, because it's going to be
a midnight.
It's going to be a midnight show starting for you, man. But man, oh man, this the 18-1.
Yeah, because it's an hour later for me.
Yeah, so that's what he said. It's going to be midnight for you.
Yeah.
And almost probably 12:30 for you. Well, yeah,
probably closer to 1.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
Game will start at 10 Eastern time.
But yeah, brothers, I mean, we're talking about a team that is 18-1 in the Big 12. Matchups, of course, this is true.
Yeah, Crabtree's comments.
Matchups, yeah. That's
Matchups. Well, not worry about really good defense. Team St. John's, Tennessee, Auburn, Florida. Those teams are going to
But you're not going to see all 4 of those teams, most likely. No.
I don't want to see St. John's.
That'd be a fun game.
And everybody's talking about Auburn, Alabama.
Florida got a guard that can really, really shoot it. That always gives Houston problems.
But St. John's, the moxie that Pitino has them boys playing with is on another level.
I would say it's kind of similar to the Cougs moxie, the toughness,
St. John's don't really shoot the 3 well though.
Oh no, they don't.
No, they can't.
They don't shoot 3 well, but you
gotta shoot the 3 well to beat Houston.
So, but it'd be a physical, grinded out game. I believe that. But that's something for once the bracket comes out, we'll see who's in the Cougs bracket and upsets happen and all those kind of things. Could next year's team have a future NBA All-Star? Next year's team.
No.
Future NBA All-Star. I don't know. I mean, hell, I don't know. I mean, Kris as a lottery pick. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. I don't know. Take
Right.
that
I
what
mean,
it's
he
worth.
developed to an all-star. It's potentially. I mean, that's hard to.
Hell.
That's years down the line.
I mean, it could be Isaiah Harwell developing into an all-star. I mean, I don't know. Kingston Flemings could develop into the all-star. Who knows? And salute to the Cougs and the staff. Kingston Flemings and his Brennan High School teammates were at tonight's game because they are in town to face Bel Air High School Tuesday night at TSU's H&P Arena for the semifinals state matchup. Winner goes to the state championship game in San Antonio. So they were in attendance tonight.
And how far has this program come? I remember playing at TSU, beating Arkansas, and fans stormed the court just because we beat a Power 5 school at that time.
Yep.
Man.
And we beat Kansas and everybody like, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it.
Me too.
That's part of it. That's part of the program's evolution and the expectations that the fans have. I'm enjoying the ride, and I hope it doesn't end until April 8th when we're doing our championship edition Let's Rage Coogs post-game show as sober as we possibly could do on April 8th.
Talk for yourself, Kris.
Hey, I'm putting it out there because I might not be sober. I'm just saying.
We go natty for natty, if that makes
sense. Fluff, you and Dan, y'all take this one right here. What does LJ need to do to be an NBA player?
Go first, D.
Now, you the pro. So I got to defer to you first.
He need to get with me. I mean, first and foremost, he need to get with me because I mean, he doesn't have to get with me, but what I will say is this, is he has to understand that when he's on the floor, an NBA general manager, an agent, a scout, a team has to be able to feel like even though he's not playing the point, that he can play it. You know what I mean? And I think he has moments to where he shows that, but I think that if he can find a way, when the season is over with, to really hone in some of those skills before he goes to the workouts, I think LJ Cryer will have a chance to play in the NBA. One thing he do is shoot the leather off the basketball, and I think if he gets some point guard attributes, meaning like just reads of thinking like a point guard, I think he can have a shot at it.
D, what you think?
I agree. I think I've kind of been saying this, improving his own ball play and being more than just a catch and shoot player, in which I think he's improved his draft stock by proving he can do that. But now it's about, just like Fluff saying, proving that if needed, he can run a show. I mean, in the NBA, it's more positionless basketball, and so it's not like it used to be. And he can play off ball and catch and shoot, but in times, can you run the show? Can you orchestrate, or not even orchestrate? Just can you do what it takes to be a point? And I think throughout this season, he's shown he's been a better 2-point scorer, getting to his mid-range, his float game, and intermediate, being a true 3-level scorer. So I think that's the maturation that he needs to continue and be able to show that, because at the next level, like Fluff the floor is more spread. And so he'll have more room to operate. I have more room to be able to do that. And so I think he just keep doing what he's doing and showing that he can handle the rock and be able to, if need be, can play the point.
Russell, thank you very much, man. We appreciate this comment. Love this podcast. You all do amazing work.
By Hunter too.
LJ's shot creation has improved. Shout out to Coach Q for sure. Yeah.
Big thank you to Russ.
Yep.
Yeah, his shot creation has allowed him to trend up.
And
I can't wait to. I got to hear about this Coach Q and Fluff shootout Because you know how Coach Q talked that trash and with the players. They say Coach Q got that jumper and he want to smoke with anybody in the shooting at the practice. So, Fluff, well, I got to hear about this whenever it goes down. I want to hear about it.
Who's Coach Q, man?
Quantis White.
Quantis White.
Yes. Your reaction speaking volumes, brother. Yes. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. Now, y'all said this, and
I set you up for that one. I set you up for that one.
I'm going to just respond like this. I'm going to respond like this. Y'all can tell Q, you can tell Hollis, you can tell Goldwire. Goldwire, no. But if I was on that staff, I'll be the best guard over there. That's it. Now,
I wish that they just walked out of here too, man. I wish, because I'd have called them to the mic.
Yeah.
Love you. Hey, Cougar brother. You know what I'm saying? But listen, you gotta just go look at the thing, man. You know, they can't shoot with me now though, man. Like, nah, man. Then the brighter the lights is, man, I go all day about this.
Oh,
look, Coach B right there.
This dude right here.
Go!
We got a challenge right here. This man wants to.
No, see, now it's not about what I want to do. It's not about what I want to do.
Between Fluff and Coach Q. Who would win? Coach Q or Fluff? Fluff. He said Fluff.
He said Fluff.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Coach. I appreciate you, Coach. Go!
Man, hey, Fluff, come on down now.
Man, listen. We'll talk about it.
I just got done showing Tim Moore a tour of the facility and his name and face. First team all conference there in the practice facility. So I can't wait to show you yours. Come on down.
Hey, Coach, we'll talk. You know, we talk all the time. I had a urgent thing that happened. I'm coming, man. I'm coming.
He said he's coming.
Yeah, all right now.
Love, man.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. See, some of y'all, let me just
organic right there. That's my guy.
Right. See, let me just say this real quick. Folks who are watching, as Fluff said, that was organic, but we've done this a long time. We got that respect. Some of y'all who don't know or don't realize, y'all need to put respect on the less Rage Coogs people. Okay? We know people. All right? We've been in this game a long time too.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Right. So, real talk. Andy put it up there because I'm going on my little rant real quick. Put it up there. Support less Rage Coogs, people. Support Fluff. Support the Houston Round Bar Review. Support Dayon. Support Andy. Paul Slamma Jamma. Reach out. Email lessragecoogs@gmail.com. Because if we were able to go on the road, you would see folks come up to us during the show. Hey, man, you know, and y'all be like, wow, I didn't realize you knew him. I'm just saying, folks, less Rage Coogs, all four of us have put in that work and earned that respect. Thank you for my TED Talk.
What a moment, though.
Yep.
Like right on time.
It was.
Right on time.
Hey, D. What's Coach's name?
Coach who? Q?
Quantis White.
Oh, Coach Q. Yeah, Quantis. Yeah.
Him and Hollis Price was. I think I told somebody that was one of my. That was like one of my favorite backcourts. He wore number 4 at Oklahoma, and Hollis Price wore number 10 at Oklahoma, playing for Coach Calvin Sampson. I had to be about 9, 10 years old. I watched them guys. Quantis White used to have braids when he played for Coach Sampson. So, much respect to those guys. So like, it's not, I just want to make.
Yeah, we just,
But I'll roll them. You know what I'm saying?
you accept the challenge? Is that what we're hearing, brother? You accept that challenge?
Hey, that's all I ever did. I'm still, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So now check this out. See, for me, when I really play against another shooter, when it hit the rim, it don't count.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So when I play, I only do swishes.
Yes.
If it hit the rim and rattle and do all that, that's a miss.
Yes, sir.
So that's how I play.
That's a shooter.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's how I play. You know what I mean?
And that was not me. So that was not me. No.
Nah, but much respect to those guys, especially Goldwire, man. When I was in Houston, I was a young puppy. Goldwire, man, used to work me out, come to the school, show me love. This before he was on any staff or anything like that, man. And they was, not that accepting of him. But so it feels good to see him on the sideline like that too. It feels amazing to see him over there too.
That was great. That was a cool moment.
Yeah,
appreciate
definitely.
That. It was. Yeah.
Definitely.
Had anybody from Kansas come on the show tonight while I was getting post-game comments from Coach Bill Self?
No, but we had one person from Oregon join, and then another person, Kris, a person from Indiana that was actually fond of Kelvin Sampson. Well, no, he was an IU fan, fond of Kelvin Sampson, which is the first time I've seen that.
That's a rare person right there.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of Hoosier fans that have not forgiven Coach Sampson. So, but see, we got, and was a person from Oregon a Coug fan or just an Oregon fan? What were they?
No, I think it was
remember Kris after the last show that was on our show.
Boom, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, man, let's Rage Coogs. Do it, Dayon. Do it. Let's Rage Coogs.
Hey, state to state like license plates, internationally known, coast to coast like butter on toast. You got to know it.
That should be a shirt. That should be a shirt. Make that a shirt.
Which one?
Coast to coast like license
plates. State to state like license plates. Yes.
State to state like license plate.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
All right. That'll do it. Yeah. Look at what Rob stats. Who we going? Oh yeah, that's Boom right there. Yeah. Is that Rob Gray?
Nah.
Oh, you talking about Fluff? Talking about Fluff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No disrespect to Rob Gray. No disrespect. It's my guy. 32 was cold.
But real talk though, we talked when Fluff first joined us. Fluff, what was you averaged what, 10 threes a game, something like that?
What, attempted?
Yeah. Back then.
Like 8 or 9. 8 or 9.
But you are
what makes a game.
Yeah, before the curve.
Yeah.
3-point attempts.
Yeah, I wasn't really, it was kind of shunned upon. Really.
Hey, my boy brother. Chancellor right there.
That's it, man. Another star coming in. Another star coming in, man.
How y'all doing? How you doing, man?
All right. we need
I'm an avid listener. Shout out to Let's Rage Coogs, one of the best podcasts out there. Come on now.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the love.
Yeah.
Brother, Saturday. All right. All right. Because you know it's gonna be a late start. All right.
Who was that, Kris?
Chancellor Johnson. Yeah.
Look.
Right now, he's
TV reporter. He's a free agent right now.
He's free agent right now. Used to be at Channel 2, KPRC, doing his own thing for a little bit until he gets picked up.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Real
put this
good,
out
brother.
there in the universe as well. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If he can't make it, he can't make it. But he's trying to make it. The board man, Justin Gorham, he knows he has an open invite to Let's Rage Coogs. He almost would have joined us, but a recent game, he said he had a long bus trip back. So he said he wouldn't make it. But it's on his list to join us, hopefully doing either the Big 12 tournament or the NCAA tournament as well. So
that's big time.
Folks, I'm just saying, we know people too. I'm just saying, we know folks too.
Chris, that's the last question.
Yeah.
Or were you going to put it?
No, that's yeah, I was going to put it up. Yeah. What do we think about the KU fans on Zeke Mayo specifically? Contra Dickinson was asked about it, and Zeke, it was after Saturday's game against Texas Tech. He did not shoot well, and he got some really hurtful, some of it was racist comments about, how poorly he played. You cost me money. It's because more and more people are losing money on gambling and parlays. So all this ignorance is coming out on social media. And so Bill Self, Coach Self, put out a public statement about if you want to be critical of anybody, be critical of me, not the players. All of the players, doing their best they can. They had an off game. But because Coach Self made a statement about it, that brought more attention to the haters. So the haters felt emboldened to take more shots at the players and being more and more ignorant. So after tonight's game, Hunter Dickinson was asked about it, and he said, I hope Zeke knows that we all have his back. But there's some people out there who just reach out to players because they're gambling, they're losing money, and they feel like they are justified in taking their frustration out on players. So that's what we're living in society right now, unfortunately.
Crazy.
And Zeke he kind of he posted on social media, I think on the gram, some of the screenshots of some of the comments he received.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he owned it. He said he did not play well. He did not play well. Folks, that happens. None of these players miss shots on purpose. Okay? You have an off game, But for people now to take it to a step, you cost me money. I had you on to be the first one to score a bucket in the first half, and you missed that layup, whatever. Now, death threats. Just ignorance.
That's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable, people. Come on, be better. And I'm going to stop before I get myself in trouble.
I ain't going to comment.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop right there. Yeah, I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
So on a happier note, let's wrap it up, Andy. So I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, on another happy note or a cool note, GR Excellence living in Atlanta now still joins a Yates Lion and a UH Coug. So
Yates lost to Wheatley.
Cougs.
I think.
Third Ward, what's up, baby?
Yates lost to Wheatley, I think, in the playoffs. I think that's right. Packed place. The building was packed though.
I saw a video from that. People saying it's like
Why
the old
still
days.
the coach?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I think Coach Wise is still there. I think so.
Yeah, they say I saw a screenshot of he went to state as a player and then he took the team to state.
Mm-hmm.
Say the one. Not who's the coach? Nick Wise's dad is still the coach, right?
Greg Wise, yeah.
Okay.
Greg Wise, yeah. And I'm going to say this as one of my final comments. Let's see. Bel Air High School, Wheatley High School, and Booker T. Washington High School. 3 Houston ISD schools advanced to the semifinals of state. I think they're all playing Tuesday. Good luck to them. But to have 3 Houston ISD schools get this far, and it's like the good old days, long time ago. So it's great, and good luck to all those, to the players,
ISD
to the coaches.
means what? Like just public?
Public
School district.
Yeah.
Yep.
Independent school district. Yes. HISD. I say HISD, but some folks think that's humble, or some folks say humble.
School district.
No, Houston Independent School District, HISD, the HISD, as far as I'm concerned. I'm a proud product of Houston Independent School District. So give it to me. I'll keep riding it. Folks, thank you as always for the conversation, the questions on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs. Salute to our supporters, sponsors, presenters, the Saxenian Family, Star Pizza as well. Subscribe to the Houston Round Ball Review on YouTube, Possum a Gem on YouTube. Email letsragecoogs@gmail.com. If you are willing and able to support the show, the future shows, we have all kinds of ideas to help us promote your product and promote Let's Rage Coogs. And as always, I'm proud to say it, since 1994, the Houston Round Ball Review. Local name, global perspective.
Fluff, real quick before I toss it over to you again, a big thank you to every single person that took their time out of their Monday night to comment. Like we mentioned throughout, like the comments were great. A lot of great thought-provoking questions, a lot of good comments about the game itself, and just an awesome show in general to have Coach Bilal, Chancellor pop in. It's one of the benefits, the beauty of Let's Rage Coogs being live. Once again, the final score from the Fertitta Center, the third-ranked Houston Cougars come away with the victory, 65-59, to improve to 26-4 and 18-1 in Big 12 conference play. Big thank you to today's sponsors on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs, beginning with Steve Saxenian. This is the Let's Rage Coogs post-game show presented by the Saxenian Family. Of course, also big thank you to Star Pizza for being a secondary sponsor on today's edition of Let's Rage Coogs with 3 locations throughout the Houston area. Star Pizza is your go-to stop before and after the game. Big thank you to Mike and Jennifer Pittman, as always, and check them out online at starpizza.net or on social media at Star Pizza HOU on X and Star Pizza Houston, Texas on Instagram. Fluff, toss it over to you. Any final thoughts, and where can people find you, sir?
Oh, man, you can find me, man, of course, on Rob McKiver, my IG handle, Elm City Elite. Big shouts to the Cougs, cutting down the nets, outright Big 12 champions. A great season, another great season, number 3 ranking, going into the tournament as probably a number 1 seed, man. You know, just happy to be on the show. You know, look our kids up, man, on Elm City Elite. Look me up on Rob McKeever on my IG. A lot of great content on there, you know. Check us out. We got donation options on there. And, man, support my guys, Houston Round Ball, Dayon Show, Andy. Great season, you know what I mean, for his high school team. I just want to say, like, I just love being here, love doing what we do. And we will get bigger and bigger as we go. And we will see you in San Antonio, God willing.
Man, what a show. Definitely enjoyed another night of Let's Race Coogs. Great fan engagement as always. The numbers continue to grow. We continue to get bigger and bigger. So if you don't know, don't ask around. Don't look down. Ask around. Because we the best in town. Can you dig it? And we only gonna get bigger and better. We coast to coast, like butter on toast, like the windshield on your car. We going far. You better know it. Because we go, hey, man, what a win. I'm looking forward to this season, man. I'm setting the bar high. I'm expecting a natty. This is the year. We manifesting it. We're going to cut them nets down when it matters the most. We're going to go win this Big 12 tournament to double up. Then we're looking for the Triple Crown, and we're going downtown for the parade. Can you dig it? Go Cougs.